is on. Make sure our mics is on. Yeah. All right, so okay. All right. I think we're all good. I hope so. All right, so this is a general message. I think, I don't know. I mean, I have my cards, of course, I have my cards, but I don't know if we're gonna pull any cards. That's just like, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, you guys. I am going to pull my cards from my bigger Rider Waite so you guys can see the cards a little bit better. I have my giant Rider Waites. And then, as always, I'm going to use my Oracle cards, but those are going to be kind of small. So you guys just going to have to trust me with those messages. But other than that, so I just felt guided. I just wanted to check in with you guys. Like, this might be a message that resonates for some, or some of the experiences may resonate with you, and then some of it may not, and then some of you may not resonate at all. I knew there was something I was forgetting. No wonder it's so dark in here. My lights. Okay. As if it makes any more of a difference. But so I had posted in the community about like feeling like a newborn baby, but also like a first time mother or mom, a new mother. So what I meant by that is this season, and it could be because of the time that I'm recording it in, where it literally is like the springtime now. It's officially spring. And for some, we identify this time of year as actually the new year, not January 31st. I mean, January 1st. We identify the spring equinox as the beginning of a new year. So, because, the season has changed into the season of, blossoming, it's abundance, um, much lighter energy, warmer energy outside of that cold, isolative winter energy. So, yeah. So, for some of you guys, it could be you feel like a new person in a sense, or you feel like this newness, but as a new mom, on that perspective, you're learning how to nurture this new energy that you're in and nurture yourself more. And like for me, I feel like this newborn baby in the sense of like I've been resting, I've been catching up on sleep a lot more. I noticed like I just have the need to have to rest more. So that's why I haven't been posting as much. And I just haven't really felt led to do too many readings, as of late, as of recent. I just felt like I needed to take a rest and, do what I can when I can, and just kind of be present in my life and be present in the moment and what's going on with me and around me. Um, but I just felt like a baby. You know how babies sleep often? Like most babies will sleep during the day and then they are up at night. And that's another thing too. But I feel like this is like a theme that a lot of us have where we wake up in the middle of the night or like in the wee hours of the morning, like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, without an alarm clock or anything waking you up. It's just that's when you wake up. So I felt like I just kind of felt like this baby energy, like I'm waking up tending to myself as of recently, because when I wake up in the wee hours of the morning, it's kind of like there's a lot on my mind that I need to write down, or I feel like this is the time where God is trying to speak to me, or I might get a lot of inspirations to do something, or post something, write something like to share, a download, or just like some creative stuff comes to mind, or I might be led to do a reading in the middle of the night or in early mornings. But this is more so like me having to get up and tend to myself. So, for instance, this morning, I was kind of having like a moment with myself where I was sorting through a lot of different emotions, and some of it was kind of painful a little bit. sorting through certain emotions and thoughts that I was having, and doubts and insecurities, fears, like all of this stuff was popping up. And I found myself kind of like drifting in this, like beating myself up. My hair is like looking really flat. um like falling into like this just dark space that I don't want to go. And even then I was like, I have to deal with this. Like, so when your baby wakes up in the middle of the night, what do? You get up, you make sure that they're good, you feed them, you change your diaper, you rock them back to sleep, you might sing to them, whatever. So if you resonate with this, or you're wondering why maybe at this time, why am I waking up in the middle of the night? And it could be due to things you got going on in the back of your minds, or things that you need to sort through. And a lot of times I feel like the best time where spirit tries to get our attention to tend to things that we need to kind of like slow down and be present is typically the time, in our sleep, through our dreams, where things are revealed to us, and or waking us up in the middle of the night to like sit with ourselves. Okay. I think I had a phone call or something. I don't know. I look crazy. I think I had a phone call try to pop in. So, yeah, that's really the main gist of the message. Like, you're going through a new season within yourself, and you have to tend to yourself. And it could be in ways that you're not used to. Like, you're not used to nurturing yourself in a certain way. You're not used to um, giving certain things to yourself. Like, it could be because I've been getting this message a lot for people. Yeah, I knew like it was some type of message or something coming through, people calling or something. I don't know. Every time I'm doing a reading, like nobody thinks about me until I'm doing a reading or something. Like if it's a personal reading for someone, or I'm recording a reading, people like to call and text my ass. Like, I don't know why they do that shit. But um this could be like a time where wherever you were looking for other people to nurture you and give to you, where you're learning to give that back to yourself. So like, in certain types of readings that I've been doing for people, um, is a Mercury retrograde coming up? Because I just cannot formulate my thoughts and my words all at once. Like, I'm all over the place and I'm trying to like word everything clearly. And I have not been on the camera in a long time. Like, y'all know, like I did it a couple of times, but I really am not comfortable. I do not like being in front of the camera like that. Um, yeah, no. And on top of that too, like I have to be transparent. I feel like because I've gone through so many transitions, energetically, spiritually speaking, but also physically. So like I'm used to myself looking a certain way. And as I'm getting older and your weight changes and stuff like that, it's like adjusting to that. And I do not like being on camera. It's so like uncomfortable. But I just, spirit has just been guiding me just to do it, to stop. It's basically hiding because, it's an excuse to not show up. So I have to stop that. But as far as what I've been getting in personal readings for people is like to more so to shift from looking for other people to give to you in ways that you can give to yourself, whatever that means to you, whether that's validation, whether that's um whether that is physical things where you want someone to make your day, where you can make your own day, or where you're looking for someone to compliment you, where you can compliment yourself, or take you out, where you can take yourself out, like little things like that. Sometimes like spirit will cause an isolation. It will happen where you're caused, or you're being called to isolate yourself so that you can spend more time with you. Like you have no choice but to do that. So like if your phone is dry, or you don't have nothing going on socially or whatever, or plans getting canceled, that's most likely a sign that spirit wants you to um take time out for yourself. What the hell is she talking about? Like, is it really that important? Hold on. Okay, like something that really is like not important to be focusing on right now. So yeah, but no. Okay, so I'm gonna pull some cards. I just want to see if I'm on point, on track with the message, because this is a new season for a lot of people. I mean, just in general, whether we decide to show up for that new season or not, or we want to stay stuck in the past, that is everyone's free will to do that, because it's not comfortable. Change is never comfortable. Giving birth is not comfortable. The leading up to the birth is not, it's not comfortable, but you have to keep pushing. You have to do it until that baby comes out, right? So you could be in the midst of a birthing process where it hurts. Like where you're at right now, it hurts. It's uncomfortable. It's, or endings are happening for new beginnings to happen. You know what I mean? Like you got to embrace this new season as it is, and embrace the new you as you are. And it takes time. Like becoming a new parent, becoming a new mother, that process within itself is a challenge, you know, in a way. You're learning, and you can't be hard on yourself and be like, oh, I thought I was prepared, or I thought I would have, you know, this or that. And you could have help, right? You have help. But at the end of the day, like this process is personal for you. This is your personal journey, right? So where you're at right now could feel foreign, it could feel uncomfortable, and that comes with anything that is new. And I would say, like, you have to nurture yourself as a mother would nurture their child, their baby. If you feel like it's awkward for you, or you deal with insecurities, you deal with lack of self-worth sometimes, or where you feel like, you know, you're unworthy or whatever, it might feel uncomfortable for you to tell yourself, oh, I love myself, or do affirmations, or to look at yourself in the mirror and send yourself love, or say affirmations to yourself in the mirror. Like that type of shit might be uncomfortable, unrealistic to you, feel inauthentic to you. But I feel like I think it's a softer method, and it feels more genuine to think of yourself as a baby. Would you talk to a child, talk to your own child, you as your own self, if you picture yourself as a baby, would you have said the things that you say to yourself on a regular basis to that baby? Probably not. Would you think the things that you think negatively about yourself to your own baby, or to yourself as a baby? Would you do that? Hopefully, I would hope not. I hope to God that nobody would say yes to that question, because that's, you got some problems. But yeah, feel like that's one of the ways. If something is bothering you, if you feel like you're having a moment, tend to yourself and be like, no, let's check this. What's up? What's wrong? Like, instead of beating yourself up or stuffing it away, or trying to deny it, or trying to drink it away, smoke it away, sex it away, as Solange would say, like you try to do all these things, right? This external stuff to kind of self-soothe in a non-healthy, unhealthy way, right? Instead of in a healthy way of like checking in with yourself, and, you know, crying if you have to, writing it out if you have to, pray your way through it, maybe call someone. Like that's okay. Like, you know, new moms, like when I was, because I was a younger mom, I wasn't a teen mom, but I was a young mom. I had, thank God, I had the help of my mom. I had the help of my dad, my grandparents, my daughter's family, her dad's people, or whatever. So if I needed help, I had that, you know. So you have help, and it could be things that you don't know nothing about, right? And someone else, maybe they know, you know, they have the wisdom, or they can see beyond what you can see. Because sometimes when we're too close in our situation, we personalize it too much, where another person is not emotionally attached to your situation, that they could see it a little bit better. They could see you a little bit more clear than you could see yourself, because you're all caught up in your emotions and things like that. So, and you could be quite critical and hard on yourself more than any person can ever be on yourself. So yeah, this is not about perfectionism either, you guys. This is not about being this perfect human and having it all figured out and needing to know how everything is going to unfold. Like, we got to do away with that. The 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 itch, the itch to scratch that need to know everything. Like, I have to know how my future is going to unfold. I have to know if I, before I do this, should I do that? It's okay to check in with yourself and make sure that you're making right decisions. But if you're trying to focus on the decision making based off of how is it completely going to unfold, then you're never going to be able to live life in present moment, where you're like you're there, where you're living, where you're taking it all in, where you're experiencing, you're just being, you're just flowing. But if you're just too like trying to figure it all out, your life is never going to be as significant. Like, I wouldn't say significant, it's never going to feel as special and as surprising, and just like this journey, like a journey of just experience and just learning and just flowing. Like, it's never going to just flow if you're always trying to figure out how everything is going to go. Oh, am I going to get married to this person? If I do this, will I get the job? Like, no, just go for it and see if you get the job. Like, if your spirit tells you like this ain't for you, this ain't the person for you, then that's when you clock out. Like, your spirit will always tell you when something is for you, when it's not for you. You always get the confirmation of that. But if you're always looking for an excuse to live life, you're not living life. So, hey, and then you got the Empress at the bottom of the deck. But yeah, you can't live like that. That's not living, you know. Needing to know the future is not. Hey Shiva, how are you? Or Shiv, how are you, sis? How have you been? That's not living your life. You're not present enough. Okay. All right, Spirit. So I present to you guys the reading now. Okay. Let's pull some cards. What is today? Today's Thursday. Yeah. Today's Thursday. Happy Jupiter Day. Eclipse season is coming up as well, so that explains it. And then you got the King of Pentacles. This is just like a lot of earth energy, a lot of earthy, like ground yourself, like take some time out to appreciate nature right now, for real. And look at the try to find how nature resonates with you energetically where you are, like the nature of things, like how the birds are able to find shelter. If one of their shelters get messed up, gets knocked down, gets brushed away, something happens to it, just nature happens, they set up shop somewhere else. They set up home somewhere else. How the flowers grow, how the grass grows, how sturdy the trees are. Find yourself in these things and just kind of be present. Or even if it's the element of air and how the wind, it can be like, and it could just be real breezy, right? Like, just find yourself in nature, pretty much. Hey, Ro, a Virgo. Oh gosh, girl. I'm glad I caught you today as well. It's been a minute, Yeah, I get it, sis. I have a Virgo South Node. Yeah, my Virgo is in South Node, so I get it. Life lessons. That's one of like the biggest challenges, is to not need to have my hand in every single thing and how is it going to unfold, how is it going to happen, and just let it be. And that perfectionism, like the perfectionism of having to get everything right, or just being overly critical of self sometimes, or situations, and you know. Okay, so for real this time, I'm gonna pull some cards. I promise. Spirit, Divine Source, Guide, Spirit, Angels, Ancestors. What is the message? Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Swords. Yeah. Three of Pentacles. King of Pentacles wanted to come out for sure. There he is. And the Strength card. That control now. That's the control. Okay. All right. So I feel like with all these Pentacles, majority of cards, Ten of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, that definitely has something to do with growth and nurturing. So you guys, someone here, like this might be a specific thing. Spirit always brings it back to love. I can't just have a normal reading without it. But as one of a good friend, I would say love is the foundation of everything. Love is the foundation of everything. Because I was saying to her, like, yeah, like having certain things that you are called to do, or where you feel like you contribute to the world, it could be heavy on you. And I was like, but like me, I feel like because I do love readings and love messages, like that stuff, like people don't want to hear that all the time. And it kind of comes across as like, you know desperation of love, or keeping people in a cycle of loop of hoping for love and all that. But no, love is the foundation of everything. How the world is right now, it kind of does show the lack of love in the earth. It does. Just how things are, and the people that are in power positions and things like that. There's no love, right? Um, not saying that there is no love period on the planet, but just like you see as a result of wars and genocides and things like that, the lack of love and humanity in a person and people. So love is the foundation of everything. Togetherness, community, um, partnership, that is the foundation of every single thing. The way that you love yourself is the foundation of everything around you, and how you allow people to treat you, how you allow, or what you allow into your life, into your space, into your mind, and into your heart, into your spirit, your body, all those things based off of how you love yourself, or the lack thereof, right? So it is what it is. This message is very specific though. So I'm gonna just read what I have, and if I happen to just lose some of you, then maybe, someone needed that message, and I'm gonna move on and pull some more cards and see if something else comes out. But I feel like you guys are worried about either allowing someone in, and the someone does not have to be anyone that you know specifically yet. It's just, the possibility of people coming into your life, or a person coming into your life romantically. Um, there's a fear about this because maybe in the past it was a lot of one-sided connections that you were in, right? Or you dealt with a lot of one-sided connections and unions. And it's like, will I ever find someone that I could truly settle down with, like truly invest in, and that's it. This is my person. They're reliable, they're loyal, they're trustworthy, they're honest, they have integrity, they'll be nurturing, they'll be attentive, they'll have something to offer. Maybe you guys are used to being the person that always has it, whether it's has it all together mentally, emotionally, mature wise, whether it's always being the one that has the money, the other person just kind of feeds out. Like, you want the full thing where it's stable, okay? As a feminine energy, as a masculine energy, it could be like you want someone that you could show up for. Maybe you weren't used to that. The person never really, they weren't a team player, basically, where you guys could build something that was stable. Spirit saying being mindful of not trying to control something to happen. This go around, and some of you guys, there could be like a specific person that's in your face right now where you're like, I don't know if this person is the one. I don't know if this is meant to be, if this is worth investing in, or this person is going to invest in me and not. And if you find yourself trying to get someone to be that, or you feel like you're forcing the situation to be, or it just feels like just it's just disharmony. It's a disharmony. It's a possibly a discontentment, but disharmony for sure. Or you find yourself going in this loop of back and forth where there's nothing steady. It's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of back and forth, in and out with this person. You're not seeing any progression. And if they do come around and they do, seemingly have it together, they like, oh, the light bulb went off, and all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm doing better, I'm going to change, or and then it goes back to the same shit again. That's how you know that's a cycle. It's like a trick to pull you and reel you back in. Like, oh, let me pretend like I'm changing, I got it together, and then it falls back into the same shit again. Um, or it can feel like a progression, like things are progressing, but then, so like, let's say for instance, this person takes you to go meet their family, and in your mind you're like, oh shit, that's serious, they're taking me to go meet their family, they're taking me around their friends, and blah blah blah. And then maybe like a day or two later, they're back to the same shit again. You haven't heard from them, or they're canceling plans. That was all just a ploy to get you to fall back into in line again. Like, don't go nowhere, basically, which is very manipulative, by the way. But that's how you know that that's not for you. And it's like, at that point, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Free will. You want to stay on the wheel with that person? You want to stick it out another whatever few months, 2 years, whatever the fuck? That's up to you. But if you're tired of that, Spirit is saying, like, the person that is for you, they're going to show up, and you're gonna know. This is the thing, and I kind of hesitated sharing this message because I'm like, I might step on my toes a little bit when it comes to um some of my viewership and maybe even some clients, because a thing is this, and I feel like when I tell a person what I'm getting and I'm picking up, this person is immature as fuck, or this person is, I'm telling you what I'm seeing. Like, I might not say it like this person is a, I mean, no shit, I do be telling people sometimes, like, your person is a fucking player, or I do not like this person, I'll tell you. But sometimes I don't get that the person is a bad person. I'll pick up that they have traits about them that are not ideal to a relationship. And I'll tell the person what I'm seeing, like, this person is immature. They may even be working on themselves, or they desire to. They wish they could do this. They wish they could do that. But do not sit on that. Like, yeah, this is what I'm getting. But at the same time, like, it's up to them whether they truly follow through with this. What you're going to do, whatever their advice is, it's up to them at the end of the day what they do with what I give them. I can't tell them to leave the person alone. I can't tell them what to do. I can tell them what I'm getting. And based off of how they register it, like, okay, she's saying this person is unreliable. This person is confused about X, Y, and Z. It's up to you to be like, do I want to deal with this person? Is it worth it? Should I stick around? Like, that's up to you at the end of the day. I'm just a messenger. I can't tell you unless I see something that's completely dangerous or something that's like, no, I'll tell you. But I hesitated sharing this message because Spirit gave it to me simple, plain, and clear. And this goes for me too, that when you meet the right person, like when the right person comes into your life, when you meet, however you meet, you're not going to feel the need to ask the cards periodically, consistently, every day, every week, how this person feels about you. Do they want to be with you? That's not going to be, you're not going to, it's not going to be there. The only thing that I could see where is like you just met the person and you're feeling good feelings about them, but you want to make sure you're not getting ahead of yourself. So you might get a reading, or you might pull cards for yourself. You might ask a friend or something. But to have to constantly seek where someone is with you and how they feel about you, um, is not necessarily, it's not necessary all the time. You know what I mean? If at all. So the message Spirit gave to me is that when you meet the right person, you're not going to feel the need to constantly pry and see what's going on with it, because you'll be in the connection, you'll be in it, flowing through it, or flowing through the process of it, with the knowing that there's something different about this person. Because the difference is that they're not going to leave you in a state of needing to know where they are with you, because you know already. Not so much because of what they tell you, or them saying like, I'm for you, or I'm with you, or I want to be with you, or I want to marry you, or whatever, but because of their actions, how they move as a person. So another thing that came to me yesterday, I was doing a personal reading for someone, and one of the things that stood out to me that I was getting for them was that whoever you meet moving forward, right? Whoever you give a chance to, look at them as a human being. Don't put them in this box of, oh, this is my crush, or this is a potential romantic partner, or are they my husband? Are they my wife? All that stuff. Look at them as a human being. That with any human being you come in contact with that you don't have romantic feelings for, you're looking at the way that they are with people, right? You're taking them at face value as a person. Like, oh, this person's cool, they chill, I like their energy, I like their vibe. Or this person's weird, I don't like their vibe. Or they're rude, they're an asshole, I don't like them. So take off the rose-colored glasses and the, are they my wife, are they my husband glasses, or what's going to come of this. Don't focus so much on that, because if you're trying to see is something going to come of it, you're going to miss the very important things that say this person could be a fucking asshole, or this person may not be a match for you. They could be cool people, but y'all may not, be compatible really at the end of the day. So if your emotions are attached, you have an agenda, or you're in a state of desperation, you just want something, or you want to be in love, you want to feel something, or because your life is kind of slow right now, there's not a lot of excitement or new things happening, or it's boring, or you're depressed, you want something to fill that up. So you'll just take whatever, right? Or you'll be appeased by the simplest and little things, where it's just like, okay, any man can, or any woman can compliment you. Any person could come in and be like, yeah, I want to take you out on a date. But if you're kind of desperate for any, you'll take anything as like, oh my God. Not to say that you shouldn't feel good about receiving a compliment or someone potentially asking you out. But if the bare minimal or just basic human interaction, things that you should receive, you should be receiving compliments. You should be taken out on dates, like you should be treated with kindness and whatever. Someone telling you you're beautiful or you're handsome, like you deserve that, right? So it's not something to hype up. With the right person, it'll feel really good because you know it's coming from a genuine place. But if it's just whoever or whatever, when you have that emptiness, that feels like $1,000,000 to you when it's really not. It's like a monopoly cash dollar thing. Like it's not real. You know what I mean? Or not to say that it's not real, but it's something that you just kind of take it and just like, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm just going to grasp onto this. That's where self-love comes in, or to a certain capacity, where I said in the beginning of the reading, or the message rather, that if you're in that place right now where you feel thirsty for validation, or you feel like you're not getting something around, you're looking for something around you to give in a way that you can give to yourself, spirit is going to starve that even more until you say, you know what, like I can't look for a man or a woman to be my joy, or to be my excitement in life, or something to, materialistically to come in and fulfill me, because material things, those things come and go. So the validation of a man or a woman or people or social media or whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because people change their mind all the time. They praise one thing one day, next day they don't like it. It's in and it's out. Or you're celebrated, then you're canceled the next. Oh, I like this, but I don't like that. Or because someone else said they don't like it, I don't like it either. Or, oh, I like this body type. And then the next minute, oh, I'm not into that anymore. You can't bank all of your worth on external things, material things, nor what other people think about you. You cannot do that. So if you don't have that stability within yourself, you're going to seek it out, and you're going to settle for a lot of shit that you shouldn't settle for, just for the simple fact of you feel like you don't have it, so you got to take what you get. No. This man or this woman is not the last person on earth. Whoever this person is, like if they are treating you like you're just such and such, you're an afterthought, a possibility, an opportunity, an option, in a sense of like, you're looking at them like, this is the person I want to be with. And they're like, well, I don't know. Or I'm still thinking about it. That ain't your person. Because two people in any circumstance, like it doesn't, this is one thing too about us as humans. We complicate shit. We complicate shit a lot. It's not that complicated. A lot of shit that we ask questions, they're right in your face. It's either you don't trust yourself enough, you want a second opinion, which is cool, or it's like you're just completely in denial. So like between two people, two adults, two humans, even kids, like when they have crushes, human beings, period. If you feeling somebody and you feeling each other, y'all got that vibe, you can sense it. If it's one-sided, you can sense it. Trust me, you can sense it. You know, it's a human thing without words. Like we're spiritual beings first. We don't need words. Energy speaks louder than words. So like if I'm feeling somebody and they're feeling me too, it's an exchange, it's a look, it's a smile, it's a body language, it's a just a vibe that you get. If it's a thing where you're chasing someone or someone, it's gonna feel like you're chasing. If you really sit in the energy, you're going to feel that you're chasing someone. And I could say this with 100% confidence in my entire being, that I know both lenses of that, where I've had mutual exchanges with people, and I've had exchanges where I felt the energy of someone either chasing me or me chasing someone. I know that for a fact. If you really sit with yourself, you feel that shit. Like, okay, I find myself, I'm texting this person more. I'm the one trying to make the plans, and I'm doing this, and you feel that shit. Guaranteed you feel it. Just like you could feel the sexual tension between you and another person. You could feel when someone's not that into you. Not hard to tell. It's almost like you don't want to believe it, because if you're dealing with someone that is a slick and sly person that presents to you, like, the love bombing phase and all that. If you're dealing with someone like that, those immature people, or a person that maybe even had good intentions in the beginning, but their maturity level wasn't there, fears and insecurities started to pop up, and now they're ghosting and they don't know how to be a man or a woman and tell you, you know what, I don't think that I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. Or, I'm having issues, blah, blah, blah. Yes. It always comes back to self. Most definitely, sis. It does. So you can sense when a person is stringing you along. It's just hard to believe. I think for me, I'll speak for myself personally. If you resonate with it, you could take it. But I feel like sometimes when things start off seemingly good, whether the person truly had good intentions or not, or the person was just an asshole and they were playing the game the whole time, you wanted to believe in the genuinity. Like, this person's genuine. This person is honest. This person really likes me, or they're saying all these good things and it feels good, right? But once the shit starts to fall apart, you're like in panic mode of, what did I do wrong? Or what can I do more of? Like, let me fix this. Rather than, like I said, being present. When we get too ahead of ourselves, we start thinking about family, we start thinking about kids, we start thinking, oh, I'm gonna bring this person around my family and my friends and all this, all that, right? But with the wrong person, though, that's dangerous to start painting your sandcastles around a person that is just gonna come up and wash the shit away because they're not for you. Rather than building sturdy foundations with people that you know about. So going into said situation, romantic situation, do you like this person for real? And one of the most powerful things, most simplistic but powerful things, my sis Tori shared with me that her sister asked her about a relationship she was in. I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember it verbatim, but the sister had asked her, if this man was the same man that he is right now, a few years from now, would you still be with him? Would you want to be with him? She said, hell no. Like, if he was never to change and he was the same person that he is with as he is right now, what he's showing you, would you want to be with him? And she said no. And that was all she needed to let that situation go. So ask yourself this, because yes, we're works in progress, but there's a difference. Like, how I explain this in a way, because I feel like we can kind of complicate this too. We'll think too deep into this, but it's not that deep. To tell when a person is truly working on themselves, you know that they're working on themselves, because the toxicity is not, it's not grand. It's not this big burden on you. But when you're dealing with someone that is as they are right now and they're toxic as fuck, they're not changing. They say they're going to change, or they show you a little bit and then they go back to the same. That's that cycle again, right? A person that is truly reformed, truly redeemed or healed in certain capacities, that doesn't mean they're perfect people, but they're not bringing on that toxic. Like, they know that what they're doing is wrong, right? So let's say a person that is a crackhead. It's not funny. Let's say a person that was addicted to crack, right? Or can I say that? Coca-Cola. They're addicted to Coca-Cola. Maybe literally. Some people could be addicted to certain food and drinks and things like that. That's not alcoholic. But let's say this person was addicted to Coca-Cola, or the Coca. They were addicted to that. And they decided that it's ruining their relationships with people around them. They're losing their jobs because, addiction problems. Their health is declining in any kind of which way, right? It's affecting their life pretty much. And because they care about themselves and they care about the people around them, they'll go to a clinic, a rehab center, and get clean. And they've been clean, let's say, for 10 years, right? That is a person that's reformed. A person that goes to their meetings every week, knows that they have to keep up with it. Someone that, if they have to stop hanging out with certain people that they did coca with, then they will do that. That's how you know a person has truly changed. If a person is for a couple of weeks, like, doing little cute stuff, texting you little cute little shit, oh, I'm going to take you to meet my parents. And then the next minute, you don't hear from them again. You're like, what's up? And you're going back to that same thing. That's the game and the cycle. That's not change. So you can tell the difference between, if you're dealing with someone that truly means well, truly is progressing and cares about themselves and cares about others around them, cares about you as their partner or whatever, right? There's no confusion. If a person truly values you, and I've said this too, like, yes, you have to have your own space, your own time for yourself, where you can't show up for everybody every time. But when you really care about a person, let's say your bestest friend called you crying in the middle of the night, you're not going to be like, oh my God, girl, you know what? I got to go back to sleep. But if you cared about her, you'll get up out of your sleep tired as fuck, but you're tuning in, you're listening, you're there for her. That's real love versus a person that you just you put all your energy into when they just treat you like an afterthought. It's not hard to tell whether somebody fucks with you or they don't. It's not hard to tell. It's just because we get attached to people, we get attached to the idea of them, or we get attached to the potential of what we see and what we want. That's what keeps you. Or your fear of being alone, or your fear of looking like a failure, your insecurities pop up. But when you love yourself, the less, I shouldn't say love yourself, but love yourself to a degree to where you get to that point where you will not settle for less than what you deserve in any circumstance, not just romance, not just your dealings with people, but anything. If it's not for me, I don't want it. If it don't feel good, if it's not treating me right, I don't want it. I'm not settling for it. My peace, my happiness, my worth is dependent on this. I'm not going to just take whatever's available just because you can't be desperate with your worth. You cannot be desperate. If you don't know your value, like what you contribute to people's lives, just in general, or as a worker, as a business person, as a friend, as a lover, as a whatever, if you don't know what you contribute to life in general, how you enrich people's lives, you will settle for just less than what you deserve. Or you might not settle for a crackhead on the street. You might not be that desperate, right? But if it looks good enough, if it looks good enough on paper to where it validates you in some way, you'll settle for it even if it's not for you. And that's not a healthy thing. And it's not to say like, oh, I'm just a master at it. It's something that I'm learning. And I feel like the biggest lesson with that is family. Because even with family, we can settle for less sometimes because we can outgrow who we are, but because they're used to us being a certain way, your family is used to you being one way or another. Who you are as a person and separating from traditions and separating from what people think you should be and where you should be in life at a certain age or whatever, right? You have to break free of all of that. And if they're, oh, why don't you just date so and so, or what? Oh, this person's available, and they don't get it that it's not about that, right? And I shared this story before, like my mom just trying to palm me off on dudes. Like, okay, they could be attractive or semi-attractive, be cool people, whatever. But if I don't feel anything, and I'm not saying like a passion or, ooh, I gotta feel something like that, like not that, but it's deeper than that, you can tell when people are like, yeah, like I don't know much about this person, but you're cool people. Let's get to know each other. But if I just don't feel it, it's not meant, for me to I'm not just going to indulge in everything and every person. Just not. Just like friends. Oh, you should go. You guys are the same age. Y'all should be friends. Y'all should go out together. And then y'all go out together and y'all just like, okay, what do we have in common? Probably nothing. You could tell when you're like meant to meet people, you'll give them a chance, yes. So I'm not gonna say that you shouldn't give people chances to get to know you, but you'll know. Like for me personally, I have to feel. And I know one of my other friends was like, why does everything have to be about a feeling or a sign? And it's like, it's not necessarily about everything has to be a feeling or a sign. But if my spirit just doesn't feel led to engage in something, I'm not fucking gonna do it. It's like saying, oh, there's a house on the street that's available, but there's something missing in it that I feel like I need. I want a washer and dryer, but y'all telling me, oh, it doesn't come with a washer and dryer. Just go up the street and wash your shit over here. I'm not gonna take that house just because it's available. Cool. No, I'm not gonna take it. I don't know. That's just me. That's just my thought process. Some people might be like, well, I could just go get me a washer and dryer. And that's where people settle. Oh, we don't really resonate with each other, but I can always like force them. Nah, I ain't doing that. You shouldn't have to force anything that's for you. And it's not like everything is going to be perfect and everything is going to be set. But if you find that it's inauthentic to you and it doesn't feel right, then it's most likely not for you. You shouldn't have to force anything to fit you or to be what you want it to be. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. Hey sis. Good afternoon. Is it noon here? Or is it no? It's probably noon now. You don't have to force it. Oh, everybody's not perfect. That's another thing, like a gaslighting thing that I hear a lot is not everybody's perfect. Like, you're right, not everybody's perfect. I'm not perfect. But it's what you're willing to put up with. Like, are you willing to put up with it out of desperation, or are you putting up with it in a sense because you truly love the person, and like that person in and out, through and through. Like, that how they are is like a quirk, and it might be a little bit of an annoying thing, like somebody leaving socks on the floor and you don't like that shit. There's a difference between compromising with that and being like, why don't you just pick up your fucking socks? Like, that shouldn't break up a relationship or a marriage or whatever, a friendship, whatever. But when it's like things where this person is cheating on you, or you and this person just can't get along, like you want to go out and you want to explore, you want to travel, and this person does not, they want to stay at home and they're boring. That's settling, especially if that means a lot to you. Like, you love to travel, or you like to go out every now and then. You like to have fun. You don't want to just sit in the house, and this person is just a lump on the log. They don't want to do shit, or they're scared of everything. That's not a compatible connection unless they get to a place where they're like, you know what? Let's see about it. Let's go out. Let's have fun. Let's get on the motherfucking roller coaster. I'm scared of roller coasters, but let's try it. That's different. Or, oh, they're cheating all the time. Well, you know what? Maybe I should get into polygamy. Maybe it's me. Maybe I don't really want to be monogamous. Maybe I'm just programmed. Like, that type of, I be hearing that too. Like, that's a thing. Like, I do believe that some women and men, they like that shit. Like, they like having multiple partners together and a house full of, people, and sharing each other and whatever they into. That may be natural to some people, but that's not everybody's thing. Just as monogamy is not everybody's thing, right? But if you find yourself compromising your morals, what you value, what you want, that is how you know you're not with the right person. It just don't go. Just doesn't make sense. You want kids, but they don't. You can't make someone want kids. You can't make someone want to be monogamous or believe what you believe in. If you have to do all of that, that is not your person. There is someone and something for everyone. Trust me. There's something and someone for every single human being. You will not have to compromise yourself. Yeah. There's a counterpart right there. Queen of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck, just as you have the King of Pentacles right there. Like, you're not gonna have to compromise your soul. You're not gonna have to compromise your morals, your visions for life. So you can have this happy home with the Four Wands. Someone that your happiness adds on to their happiness. You guys make each other happy. But it's like, if I was, God forbid, to lose this person tomorrow, I might be sad, but I'm not completely shattered or broken without them, because I still have me. I still love me. I still have people around me that love me. It's easy to look at what has left or what is lacking than rather looking around and saying, this is what's here right now. These are the people that love me right now. This is the people that pour into me versus the haters, or versus the people that came and left, the dogs. If you hyper focus on this man or this woman that did you grimy, did you dirty, you'll never be able to see the person or the man for you under those circumstances either, because you're always going to be looking behind your shoulder or over your back. I do believe, though, that a lot of your connections, I should say romantic ones, but even connections that, like your family, your friends, those of them that really are for you, that have the best intentions for you and love for you, um, there's a pouring in of healing. Like, they will bring healing into your life. Like, these are people that feel, you're gonna feel the exchange. Like, you're never gonna feel like you're giving more than what you put out. It will never feel that way. Or some of you guys might fear that, what if I take more than I have to give because I'm not this, I'm not that, or I'm not X, Y, and Z yet, or I haven't healed this. Like, and that's another thing too. When I say, like, healing, when you're healing or you're at a certain capacity of healing, like, it's not to say that you're going to be perfect. It's just wherever spirit is calling you to work on or to heal, that's it. It's not saying like you got to be perfect, because I do believe that a lot of times when people come into relationships with people, they're not perfect. Because a lot of times a relationship will starve the ego. It will. With the right relationship, two people, if they can get past the honeymoon phase and really like surpass their fears, their insecurities, their doubts together, work through it, that's the most strong foundation relationship you'll ever have. But for partners that just like the honeymoon phase, and when it gets to the deep parts, or when the true self, like the parts of you that you've kept hidden because you feel like these were the most undesirable parts of myself, or I'm ashamed of these parts of myself, or I have these quirks, now this person gets to see it because we're more up close and personal. We're spending way more time together. We're starting to spend the night or staying over at each other's house for days. And now we're starting to see certain things. And then some people are like, oh, this ain't it for me. And sometimes that is your cue to leave. Like if it's not resonating with you, this is not someone that you feel like you resonate with, let them go. Or if you feel let to go, then go. But if it's something where like you really want to invest in this person and there's fears and all that stuff coming up, you have to work through that, because that's what leads to a strong foundation. And for others, they see that phase where this ain't it, this person is not who I thought they were, or this doesn't resonate with me, or this person treats me like shit. But hey, you got to stick it out. No one's perfect, right? And then you stick it out with the toxicity, and now you're stuck in a relationship. So if people can surpass that phase of the unknown and needing to uncover and reveal parts of themselves without the fear of running, or the fear of trying to control it and all of that, or trying to control another person, or living up to a false expectation, if you can surpass that, you will have a strong relationship and foundation, because the healing never stops. And a lot of times in relationships, the healing is like, it's more profound in relationships. Your shit comes up even more. Like you could see yourself more clearly when you're dealing with another person. It just happens that way. Some of the biggest healing that you'll ever have will be in your relationship. So it could be a good thing, or it could be one of those things where you have to live and learn the hard way, those lessons. But it should be something that regenerates you. It should be something that purifies you. It should be something where you feel that exchange of equal give and take, and that love, that peace, that patience, where things are not always going to happen when you want them to happen. It's going to happen in its divine time, like that natural flow and order, interconnection. That's the beauty. And I feel like that's, for a majority of you, that's what spirit wants for you. A relationship that provides peace, a relationship that it's not this tumultuous heaviness, stressful all the time. Like, you'll have hiccups, but you guys know how to come together and work it out and flow through it and talk it out. Like, it's beautiful to have a person or people in your life that's like, we have issues. Like, you hurt me, or you pissed me off, or I didn't like how you did that, or I don't like how that made me feel. To talk it out, and it'd be kind of uncomfortable to go through it. But the fact that you were able to sit down and talk about it and flow through it shows you that this person cares enough for you, and you care enough to have those conversations, even though they're uncomfortable. That's how you build relationships, rather than sweeping shit under the rug, or walking around with resentment, or I can't stand this person, or playing games tit for tat. Like, no. And I heard someone say this before, like actually a few people say this: healthy relationships are boring to some people, because if you're used to, because toxic women, toxic men, somehow, for some reason, not, maybe not for everyone, but those are fun to some people. Like, it's fun. Why? Because not so much like the toxic shit, but the fact that you don't have to hold accountability. It's easy. Like, this person doesn't hold you accountable for anything. It's like, we can be messy together, we can argue, we could fight, but as long as we have sex, or we do like, little our vices together, we get high, we get lit, whatever, or we sleep with women together, we do little freaky shit. You don't have to hold me accountable. I don't have to be faithful to you. You don't got to be faithful to me. We might argue and be like, why are you talking to this girl if it don't benefit me? And that's the toxic shit, right? Or they look good, but she's a bitch. Like, I really can't stand her. She look fine as shit, and the sex is good, but I can't stand her. Or he's fine, and his what is good, but he ain't shit. You know, like it's easy, but it's not easy to deal with the toxicity. But a lot of people will side for toxic things because it benefits them in some way where they can stay where they are. Whereas healthy relationships, it's going to require you to give up that toxicity. And it's not to say that y'all can't be freaks together, right? And I'm not shaming anybody that likes to drink. I like to, make me my drinks. I like to make my cocktail. I'm a little bartender over here. I like to make my drinks, okay? Like I'm the one at the family function that make the drinks. So I get it, right? And smoking, that's your thing, whatever. As long as it ain't bothering nobody, you ain't smoking around kids and whatever else. Like you can have a fun relationship with the right person, like you can. But the difference is like you do have to be accountable. You do have to think about your actions. You do have to have integrity. You do have to be honest and loyal and respectful and all those things. You can't come in with those games. You can't do that. So you can't sweat it when, let's say, you have boundaries or you have expectations that need to be met where you're not going to put up with the foolishness and somebody ghosts you. It's not your person. That just shows you too where the level that they're at. They're not in a space or level where they're ready to really truly authentically show up for someone in a relationship, and more so show up for themselves. Because in order to show up for other people, you have to show up for yourself. If you're a toxic person, what good are you to other people? What good are you in any relationship, friendship, whatever, romantic, your family dynamics? I know a lot of toxic family members, and it's just like sometimes people don't want them around. You don't want to be that person where people don't want you around. It's not cool. So if you don't take accountability for yourself, you don't take time out to work through your own shit, take accountability, ownership, whatever, be responsible, you're just going to be a toxic motherfucker to everything and everybody around you, including yourself. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. So healthy relationships will be boring to people that are used to toxicity. Even if you're a work in progress, it might feel foreign to you. You might be like, oh, this person said he was going to call when he said he was going to call. This person really means what they say. It's just like, because there's no shock value, right? When you're like that shock, like the excitement of the up and down, like a roller coaster. That's why people like roller coasters, because they have those ups and downs and flips and sometimes going upside down, being stuck upside down and then turning and all the shit. Roller coasters are fun to some people, right? So a relationship like that that's toxic is in and out, like, oh my God, like I'm waiting days for him to call me. And then he looks at your story and all of a sudden you geeked up because this motherfucker looked at your story. Oh my God, he looked at my story. And he probably looked at a whole bunch of other motherfuckers' story, but looking at your story is like it's a trigger thing. It's like, oh my God, he's thinking about me. And it's the most minimal thing that a motherfucker can do is like your shit or comment some heart, like anybody, like shit that anybody can do. But because it's that person, it's just like, oh my God. Instead of calling you, right? Instead of addressing you, they might text you, hey, what's good? Nothing. They don't text you back after you respond. That type of shit, like the excitement and the roller coaster, like that, that is toxic. So when a person is like said, like, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna do what I said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show up. um, the things that they do for you speaks volumes. Like you don't have to wonder, you don't have to guess whether this person's really into you. But when it's that excitement from the toxicity, it's like, oh, this person, I don't know if they really like me, if they're really feeling me because, they don't really compliment me. Like I had this stupid infatuation with this, like it's an associate. I wouldn't even say he's my friend. He's just an associate, like somebody that I know, like, from a social setting, right? And had, encounters with and all this shit and hung out one time together where I would get offended whenever he wouldn't like my shit, and I would notice he would like other girls in our space that we both would follow, and he would like their shit. And I'd be like, questioning myself, questioning my worth, that type of shit. Like that's not cool. But then any other time, like they'll treat you like you're, like they into you, but other things will show that confusion where it doesn't really validate it. Like those type of things. And now you're thirsty for this person's validation. Like you have to be mindful of shit like that. That's a person that's for you will never make you feel like that. And not saying like they have to like your post or have to like every post, but there's certain things that people will do strategically, like that game of let me like their stories or let me watch their stories, whether it's on Snapchat or whatever the fuck else, Instagram, Facebook. I think Facebook has um, stories. I don't know. Um, but this person is not contacting you. They're not reaching out to you, but they can do that. That to me is a slap in the face. That's an insult. That's disrespectful. That is the audacity. Okay. You got the audacity. That's not flattering. But if you're thirsty for this person's time and attention, that will feel like $1,000,000. Oh, he's looking at my story. So, and okay. They're not that busy. Like they can go on Instagram or whatever the fuck and look at your shit, but they can't speak to you. It's not cool. No. Those are games. And that's a immaturity thing on that person's behalf. That's immaturity. If you think that that's effort or you're still playing games like that, like you're immature as fuck. Truth. 99.99. Bonds 2020. Yeah. 2020 vision of what's true. 77. 777 luck. The truth is going to set a lot of us free. And at the bottom of the deck is new beginnings with 000. Looks like a little MasterCard. Priceless. Because you're a priceless person. You cannot be bought. You cannot be finessed into things that are not for you. If you hold yourself at value, said value of, I know my worth. So you can't just buy your way into my heart. You can't sex your way into my heart. You can't sweet talk me your way into my heart. You can't do none of those things. You have to show me you. Not too many people are going to be able to do that. I feel like that's because that eliminates a lot of fuckery. When you tell a man, oh, or woman, but let's say, because I speak for a lot of women, I have a lot of women viewers. Let's say, for instance, as a woman, you go on a date and you tell this person, oh, I like a man that's like this and a man that does this and is like that and all these traits and characteristics. He just like, uh-huh. Yeah, in their head, though. Taking mental notes so they can be that for you when they're not that themselves. And then they always crack. They always do. But sometimes we get so caught up in the fantasy of what we saw in the beginning, we'll overlook a lot of the shit that they're doing that they really are about, like the true side of this person. We'll overlook that. But you cannot fake authenticity and energy of who you are. Like if you allow a person to just be who they are and say, if a person ever asks you this ever again, what are you looking for in a man? I don't think I've ever heard anybody even ask me that. Actually, no, I take that back. And I did get fooled by that person too. Ooh, I did. Yeah, they did. They sure did ask me. I was about to say I've never been asked that before, but I have. But moving forward, if anyone ever asks you what are you looking for in a person, just tell them I'm looking for someone that's true to themselves. And let's see how they play it. And then it gives you the opportunity. Not only will it call them to be their authentic self with you, but if they really are their authentic self, you get a chance to see whether you like this person or you don't, because they have nothing to hide behind but to just be themselves, and you get to decide whether you fuck with them or you don't. But if you give them something to like move on, oh, I'm looking for a woman that's loving and nurturing and cooks. This old stank ass heifer can go behind the scenes and learn how to cook some shit, probably that you like, or pretend to be nice for a moment, but she's going to crack. And same thing with a man. Oh, I like a man that is considerate and he compliments me and he does all this little whatever little shit. It's easy game. Don't give them easy game. Don't give them no game. Allow them to be their authentic self with you, and you get to decide whether you fuck with them or you don't. Because they can't hide behind anything. They might try, but throw up telling you, like, just be yourself. See how they act. See how they really are. Give them the chance to be themselves. And if you fuck with it, cool. And if you don't, okay, that's fine. At least you get to see. But don't fool yourself. Don't allow other people to fool you or play you. That's just easy. And to know what you want, you have to know what you're worthy of. Like why you desire what you want beyond just somebody that looks good or somebody that's good in the bed or does the basic essentials. Like me personally, like companionship, like true authentic companionship, I value that above a lot of things. Like I feel like that shapes and makes a lot of your relationship when you have a true connection with somebody, a true friendship with someone. That will overrule and override a lot of shit. Like I'm not appeased by certain things like I used to because I was coming from a broken, insecure, like didn't know what I wanted, didn't know much about myself, didn't value myself. Little things were appealing and appeasing to me, even though it really truly wasn't. When I really sit and feel into it and think about it, I really wasn't settled with it. It wasn't really what made me feel whole. I still feel like something was lacking, something was missing. And one of the things that I've learned as I've gotten older is I value true connection with people, like true companionship with people. Like I truly value that. So if I don't have that, then you're not all that. Like you could, any man could be fine, attractive and all that shit, be good in the bed, compliment you, buy you shit, take you here and there, whatever. But if we don't have a true, like it doesn't mean shit to me. Like it doesn't mean shit. So you're going to find, and I want to say luck, but blessings when you really see the truth. Like you see the core, the truth of things and people, including yourself in your bonds and your relationship. It's 2020, the number 2020, angel number 2020, 2020 vision. You'll be able to see clear. All right, one more card or deck if I can get it. Ugh. Okay. Y'all know I do the most. The mostest. The hostess with the mostest. I have my buffet of cards like I always do. Wow, this card flew right the fuck out. Growing Pains, number 19. I don't know if you can see it because of lighting. Growing Pains, it says healing, patience, and unconscious. So I'm going to read what the book says. This is number 19. And I opened it right up on the right page. Thank you, Spirit. So healing, patience, unconsciousness, self-awareness. The affirmation is, I trust the process of my healing. The healer, the garden that tends itself. The therapist, you seek to be awakened, to be an awakened one in your family. This isn't always easy as it involves taking on a larger responsibility and role in your lineage. You are seeking something more fulfilling, truthful, and of the heart. This requires patience with your psyche and security within your soul. By living intentionally and choosing to be conscious, of the choices you make, you are activating transformation at a DNA level. This can be felt at a collective consciousness level as well. This is powerful work. Your ancestors are so proud to have you pass the torch, or to have passed the torch down to you. You have done so much already, far more than you know. Pulling the Growing Pains card invites you to empathy, more patience with yourself, and on your healing journey. You are unlearning and undoing generations of toxic patterns and beliefs. This will naturally be challenging, uncomfortable, and even painful at times. This is why you were called growing pains, or why they are called growing pains. They are a necessary part of healing. This card also wants to remind you that you were chosen for this path, that your soul chose this mission of healing for you. This is your intent, your initiation. I can't see. So I have glasses on. I still can't see. This is what walking through the fire looks like. So you may reach out peacefully, or reach that peacefully, abundantly. Okay. Be proud of yourself and continue to do your best at finding your way. Celebrate small victories, like when you set boundaries or are less reactive or break a toxic trait or don't repeat the poison of the past. This is the work you have been this is the work, and you have accepted your mission whether you realize it or not. Hmm. And then it says, get a journal and write out the small or big ways in which you have already healed yourself. Give yourself the recognition you deserve. Love yourself for all the times you chose to do better, even when even when nobody was watching or patting you on the back for it. Even when your family or friends don't see all that you have overcome. Instead, see yourself. You are a chosen healer. Beautiful. Okay. I feel led to pull another one because that one came out like by itself. So I'm going to pull another one and see. The Witch. Okay, interesting. You got the Witch with number 41, and it has this quote on it. I wasn't always like this, you know. I had to create who I am. And then the keywords are creatrix, lotus flower, and free will. Number 41. All right. I forgot to add those numbers, numerology. I'm going to add those numbers up. Unless somebody already beat me to it, I'm going to add those numbers together from the angel numbers. Okay. So the affirmation, oops, wrong page. The affirmation is I am a powerful creator and alchemize who I am. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm just skipping pages. In a world full of princesses, she is the witch. This card is an omen that you have an extra power to alter your fate in this at this time, to create something new for yourself and your life, to give yourself space from the world so you can do so, to go deeper and learn the ways of spirit. This is not the traditional hermit card, but it is similar. This is the witch or creatrix card that tells us we are meant for greater things. We now have the power of the witch, the magic that can happen when she creates instead of destroys. The creatrix is the witch who lives alone, who spends her time in solitude and is content to do so, perfecting the art of making potions, performing alchemy, drawing her visions, and casting spells, discovering new ways of magic and transcribing them in her own book. She is beautiful in a strange, dark, and unusual way. Though she couldn't care less about her appearance, she is the cat in the night and doesn't care to be seen. Occasionally, she offers magical aid or channels wisdom to a lost soul in need. She would rather not unless spirit insists or gives her signs to do so. Then she will be burgeoningly, burgeoningly, like begrudgingly, I think that's how you say it, abide by that, helping the desperate wanderer who winds up at her door. Either it was their destiny to find her or they heard rumors of her beauty and power. So they went on a quest to find her, though she will reject all lovers because she deems them unworthy. And until the day she meets a force as wild and magical as she, can I just say this real quick? Because I feel like this is like a lot of y'all. Like, you don't have to be into doing like spiritual work in that sense, but you guys have your own gifts and callings. And I feel like there's something about you that is mystical, kind of like unusual, right? And I feel like a lot of people are going to be attracted to your energy. A lot of people are going to be enticed or drawn to the mystique that you have or the unusualness of you, the mystery of you. But deep down inside, you guys, if you, this is why you got to know who you are. And I've gotten to this place too that not everybody is for me. Like, they're just not. And it's not from this cocky, like, oh, I'm better than everyone. There's someone for everybody. And for me, I don't fit into a lot of people's list of what's normal, right? Just speaking for myself, right? But you can only speak for yourself in this, where like you could be unusual. Like, I feel like I'm just an unconventional person. Don't live a conventional life. Don't look like a conventional, don't dress like a traditional conventional woman. Like, nothing about me is that. So that takes me out of a category for a lot of people. Like, I always say this, like, men, I see it in their eyes all the time. They'll look at me like I'm some magical unicorn, glossy eyed and glistening, sparkly eyed. Like, I get it. And they always, I like your vibe. I love to chill with you. All this stuff, right? But when it comes down to like really like taking things further, they don't. And I used to be offended by that because there's nothing wrong. Like, there was nothing wrong with our interactions. We weren't rude to each other. It wasn't nothing about not being attracted or anything like that. They would be respectful for the most part. Some of them still play games because like they like the idea of you, but they know that they don't. They have no business with you. So they'll keep you around and from like that. That's the selfish dude. But the one that really is doing you a favor is the one that will stay the fuck away from you, or just like know like, okay, you know what, like, I got to experience this person, we had a good time, but I'm not made for them, or we're just not, maybe we just aren't that compatible, and they'll move on, right? I respect that person over the ones that like to still be all up in the mix and like playing games with you and shit. But the truth is like, I'm not something that a average guy or a conventional dude or dude that still kind of like resonates with what's trendy and what. I'll never be that woman on his arm. Never. And I know that. And I'm cool with that. Person, whoever that is for me, they might look like somebody that's the average Joe. I don't know. But their spirit, their soul is like mine, similar to mine, compatible with mine, where you don't have to force it. Like sometimes you guys, I'm just saying this, I'm just saying. Some of y'all is too magical from some of these dudes or these people that you're trying to be with. Like they don't get it. They don't even know how to spiritually protect you. They don't even know how to do that. You know, they're not even on the same level to even fuck with you spiritually. The best you can do for this person is give them experience, give them healing, give them awakeness. That is the best you can do for them. Other than that, there's nothing that they can give to you. You're always going to be the one that facilitates and has more to give than they have to give to you. They will take from you. And they may, even if they're intimidated, they will tear you down. I promise you that. They will find ways to tear you down. And it won't always be in their words of telling you, oh, you ain't shit, you're never going to be shit. They'll do it with cheating on people that are quote unquote where you would be like, oh, she's not that cute, or she's not as cute as me, or she's ratchet, she's this. They'll cheat on you with that because that will make you get in your head and be like, if he'll cheat on me with her, then what's wrong with me? Games. Not only just that, they'll subtly do things that will diminish you and tear you down in little ways by the way that they treat you, by their actions, the less time that they spend with you. There's levels to things. Like some people are really good at mastering manipulation, where some people are just boyish and immature at it, where they'll do the little things like tearing you down and telling you you're not that pretty and you're ugly, and that's little kid shit. You know, little words like on the little playground shit. That type of shit is weak. But mind games and trickery and all that, those are lower, like those are deeper levels of manipulation, dark levels of it, where they psychologically know how to fuck with you. So you'll meet those types of people, or you'll come into contact with people that they want to be with you, but as long as you change for them, as long as oh, you're not gonna pull your tarot cards out in front of my family, are you? Or the other shit. That's not your person. It's not your person, trust me. Because if you're called to be a healer, why this is dangerous is because it will cap you on your journey. I say this all the time. If you're someone that is a prophetess, a seer, a healer, or you're a creative person, or how you dress and how you express yourself, that's your art. That's you. So if someone's telling you like, because you being yourself may give someone else permission to be themselves and dress how they want to dress, talk how they want to talk, create the life that they want to create, tap more into their gifts and callings or whatever they have by you being you. So if you're with the wrong person that's telling you to do the opposite and they don't like it and it's weird, that person is actually a demon on your path seeking to like cut your shit off. That's not the person for you. That's why I don't believe in the settling and make a person be what you want them to be. Like on a deeper level, I see on a surface level how people could say that, like, oh, you're just too picky. You just need to. I could see that on a surface level, but on a deeper level, I see it a little bit beyond that and why that's a dangerous thing. And not just that, it's a selfish thing, because if you know that that person is not the man for you and that is not the woman for you, you're doing each other disservices. Because if you have people that you're supposed to be with, or experiences or encounters you're supposed to have with people, even for a season, you're limiting that through your selfishness, or keeping that person from the person that is truly going to love them, and vice versa, truly going to love you. So there's no sense in doing that. You don't have to do that. That comes from scarcity, that comes from insecurity, that comes from fear that I'm never going to meet anybody else, or I'm getting old, or what if I never meet anybody else like this, or there's no good men, or there's no good women, and all that, or what are people going to think about me? That's coming from lack. That's all that shit is. It's not coming from a sound place. Nothing about that is sound to say I have to settle for something. There's nothing about that is sound. That it doesn't make any sense at all. Actually, if you think about it, you're telling yourself that I have to settle for less. That is, where's that coming? That's not coming from a sound place. Like God will never even tell you that. Like Anybody or anything that loves you would never encourage that. In their right mind would just tell you, oh, well, at least they have money. Oh, or at least you have a man. Like that, just, bitch, what? Like, no, no. And I wouldn't even say that it's not that they don't love you, but some people, that's how they feel about themselves. That's where they feel like in their mentality, this is the best that I can do. That makes sense to them, and that wherever that space is energetically that they're in within themselves. But nobody in their right mind, anybody that at least has a healthy self-esteem and loves themselves, would ever convince themselves to settle for something less than they know than what they're worthy of happiness of, and like have to compromise their true core self for. No one in their right mind would ever think that, unless you're desperate. You're, like I said, you have fears, insecurities, doubts, you're limited thinking. That's it. That's the only thing that would would even condone that type of mindset. Like, crazy. Hey. So let me finish this and then I'll close this out. But it says spirit has become her greatest friend and is a strong force within her. The creatures of nature keep her company and alert her when others are near. She comes from a troubled past of which she does not speak. Born in darkness and created from nothingness, the witch was doomed from life to be a hag of the swamp, the one who typically abandons good for evil, who steals innocent souls to stay alive for centuries. But instead, she decided to become something else, a secret third thing, a thing that which up until now has not existed, a creatrix. So, like, some of you guys came from tough experiences, whether it's through your upbringing, whether it was bad relationships, bad friendships, whatever. And you could have easily been the swamp witch, like they said, in the swamp, taking souls, creating chaos. You could have been that. And maybe for a time you did, F love, F people, whatever. But but you decided, I'm not going to be that said person or that woman or be what people expected me to be. I'm going to rise and create for myself, me. This is my life, my path, my truth, my identity. And I could choose to treat people bad, but I choose not to. I'm creating something different than those dark expectations of my life, or based off of what I've been through. I could have just did this X, Y, and Z. Like, I choose to do something different with my life, with myself. So they have like the little manifestation enhancer thing. It says, you have the power of the witch, or at this time, write down the spells you wish to cast upon your life and destiny, upon your own life, not other people. Like, oh, I want this person to fall in love with me and all that dumb shit. What do you want for your life? What does that look like around you? Like, what is that vision? Light a candle and write 5 important intentions you would like to set for yourself, your life, the world, and or your loved ones. Okay, beautiful. Now let me add this number up real quick. It already resonates. Yeah, I'm almost halfway done, sis. Like, I'm like almost done. But let me see. We have 999 plus 2020, which is 4, 777. So if I did my math right, it's 106 altogether, but that should equal down to one single digit, which is 7. Um, so 7, I believe, is a number of completion. The number of completion. Yeah, I hope I'm doing my math right. Yeah, it should be 7. So that's a completion. And it can also represent like the crown chakra. Like, you guys, like, there's no excuses. You got to come from your highest mind moving forward with things. Like, you know better. Like, you can't say you don't know or you don't see. You can't turn back. You know things. If you choose and decide, like I said, free will, if you choose the opposite of what you see to be true and what you know is real or what's best for you, that is your free will. That's on you. But you can't say that you don't see and you don't know. And spirit is already confirmed here. When you walk in truth, when it comes to your connections, the bonds and relations with yourself and with others, you're going to find luck. But I say blessings, not luck, but blessings. It's beyond luck. It's blessed. It's good fortune, good wellness. Thank you, sis. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. It's beyond luck. It's it's blessings. It's good things that come. And I will say this, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. When you take the path of truth, authenticity, it takes longer, or seemingly it takes longer for things to happen for you sometimes. Or I won't say all the time, but oftentimes, because you're not selling for the easy route. You're not selling yourself short for the quick, fast, and easy. And though it may seem like everybody's getting it and oh, everybody's happy on that other side, not always, because they had to compromise a part of themselves to get to that. Yes, there will be times where things do happen for you rapidly because it's just that time is just right. That's where intuition, that's where discernment comes in, that's where faith comes in, that's where confidence comes in, belief in yourself, belief in God, belief in just like I can do this, and you hop on those divine time things. But when you want something of true value, it's not going to happen as fast as you may want it to, or as fast as someone else had it. But one thing is, it will be true and it'll be real. It will be true and real and authentic for you. And it will be far more of a blessed thing because you didn't have to sell yourself. You don't have to sell out in morals, your body, your time, your dreams, something authentic about you because you just wanted to get it in real quick and just get what you wanted. Like people, I always say this, like people can fake as much as they want to. I guarantee you, if someone, and I know this to be true because I've been here, anytime you ever compromise your truth and what it is that you really want for yourself, you're always going to be miserable. I don't care what it looks like on the outside, whether you're getting money, whether you have a man or you have a woman, you are not happy. Truthfully, when you compromise yourself, you will never, because your soul will never be at ease with that. If you have a soul, right? You have light in your soul, in your heart, and you compromise something about yourself just to have said something easier, even if it's a counterfeit, because it's a counterfeit thing. It's not for you, or it's not the right time for you, but you went ahead and just got into something that you know you shouldn't have gotten into. Or, oh, at least I have a man, but that man is not really fulfilling you spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Like you're not really happy. Your soul is dying. And that person can really be a good person. Like I said, it doesn't always have to be somebody that's toxic or just like this horrible man or horrible woman. They could be cool people, but there's something that just doesn't, your soul is never, you're never going to feel content with it. And I won't say, like, again, don't make no mistake when I say this, that it means that once you do have the man of your, you know, you waited for the right man, that you will be completely at ease and at peace. If you're not at peace with yourself, you still have issues with yourself where you still feel like you're unworthy or you're not good enough for this and good enough for that. Even with the right man or woman, you're still going to feel like something is off because you have issues with yourself. Until you get to a place where you believe that you're worthy, or you allow yourself to be open to things and not close it off to yourself and say, you know what, like I do struggle with self-esteem, but I'm going to open myself up to love. I'm going to be receptive. I'm going to work through this. That's even better. I mean, that's progress too. But if you go into things compromising yourself, you're never going to be satisfied. So, yeah, it could be easier to just go on, you know, go off with somebody right now and be with them, or stay in a situation. It's better than being single, right? Or being alone, right? But you're going to be miserable until you decide within yourself that that's not what you want. And like I said, it takes time to get things. It does. And I was so glad that I came across um what's her name? That singer Victoria Monet testimony, where she said she waited, I think she said 14 years to get to that dream of winning an award. I think specifically it was a Grammy. It took her 14 years to manifest that, where she was writing music for people. Like she'd been writing songs and music for people for years, like in the background pretty much. Like her music and stuff just, I think in the last few years started to generate, you know, going viral. And then that On My Mama song really was like really big. So it takes time. It's not an overnight thing. I know, like, we live in the age of the internet and going viral and the content creator, the online celebrity, but some of them been on YouTube or been on whatever since they were like in middle school, and they're finally getting their accolade. Like, it takes time. And some people, it could happen overnight. That's a possibility too. But oftentimes when you take it and you build yourself from the ground up, it does not happen overnight. It does not. Y'all see Beyonce, and it's like, you know, it was a process. Like, and they had to, back then it was a little more different than it is now for somebody to just get viral, like, oh, I found you on SoundCloud, or I found you on Instagram or TikTok, and then you get signed or some shit and you go viral, or Twitter. But back then you actually had to have talent. You actually had to work your ass off. And a lot of these people started as kids, like kids all the way up until now. Like, it's not an overnight thing. So when it comes to what's meant for you, you have to just go through the process. And that's why I say, like, don't worry so much about the future, because you're not present. And when it comes to love, same thing. When you finally meet the right person, it will make sense to you. It will make sense, like all the heartbreak and all of that, and why it was best not to settle. Like, you'll be glad that you didn't. And you think that, oh, the time I waited so long and it happened so long, it took forever to get here. You're not going to be so concerned with the time that it took. You'll just be grateful and blessed at the fact that you met your soulmate, or whatever you want to call it, divine counterpart, whatever, in this lifetime. So which would you rather have? I know patience is not everybody's virtue. It literally, if you look up the word virtue, you'll understand what I mean. It's not everybody's virtue. It's really not. It's not easy. It's not. And I was just watching this video the other night, last night, matter of fact. It was a woman sharing her testimony on a live about how she met her husband. And she said it took her 10 years, I guess what she was saying, like, to intentionally date versus just dating, just to be dating, but have intentions, with her dating process. Took her 10 years to meet her husband. So when she finally, her sister, I think she said, friend or her sister, encouraged her to go on a dating site, which she doesn't do, encouraged her to get on, and she met her husband on that dating site that same night. And he was encouraged by his friend to get on, because he was tired. He's like, I'm 35. I don't want to, I'm tired of the dating. His friend was like, just get on the dating site. And the friend took his phone and got him logged into some dating site or whatever, signed him up or whatever. They met, right, on the dating site. Fast forward, their whole testimony it's a long story. So I'm not going to get into that. But essentially, two people that were just like, you know what, I'm tired. Like, they took the chance, opportunity to do that when it was the right time. But the woman, she said it took her 10 years when she finally made the decision to be intentional with her dating process. It took her 10 years. That's a long time. That's a decade to be intentional about your dating life and not meet the right person until 10 years later, like, of making said decision. Like, but it is what it is. Everybody's time is divine. It's not based off of man-made time, or what your mama, your daddy says, or if your friends or your family start getting concerned. It's going to happen when it's meant to happen for you. Yeah. And a good friend of mine, that was her story. Like, everybody was thinking she was going to be the last or the least likely person to get married, the last person to get married in her family and her friend circles, because she never had a boyfriend. And I think she was like 30 at the time, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I don't think she was 30 yet. She was in her late 20s at the time. And everybody was like thinking she was the last person to get married because she never had anybody. And it took her until her late 20s to finally meet a man. And that man was her husband, still married. So it's based off of your divine timing, like your family and friends and society, timelines, and all that. That is extra pressure that you just don't need, and you don't need to pay attention to. Now, if you're blocking your blessings in love, then that's a whole nother story. But you got to tell yourself this too. I'm not going to be a perfect person. And the beauty of it is why we don't have to be perfect people, is because we know that people will love us beyond perfection. Like, when you're where you think, oh, I got to be this, and I have to be a size this, and I have to have this going on in my life. No. The right person for you, and it's not to say that you shouldn't take care of yourself and all that or be happy with where your life is, but if you have like a specific timeline and this restriction where I'm not going to be loved until, that's like you're putting conditions on why you're lovable, why you're desirable, why you shouldn't have things until you're this or until you're that. You're putting conditions on your worth rather than saying, I'm worthy today, whether I'm this size or that size, or whether I'm in this place in my life or in that place. I'm still worthy of love, regardless. Like, a person's going to love me for my heart, for who I am, the beautiful things about me that they can't see. And on top of that, they will love me as I am physically, whatever. That's the true thing. And I know this world will have you thinking the opposite because a lot of people are superficial. They are. That you're unworthy of love if you look like X, Y, and Z. And you're only worthy if you look like X, Y, and Z. Not because you're a good person, not because you contribute. Those things are considered to be whack, considered to be traits that are attributed to ugly people, right? Kindness, someone that's funny and this and that. Those are things that ugly people have. So I guess beautiful people, as they say, beautiful people, attractive people, have ugly insides. I guess that's what people are saying if they really think about what they be saying. But true like connectivity is based like beauty is subjective. You don't have to understand why this person finds this person attractive or beautiful, handsome, or whatever. As long as they do, it's none of your business. There's someone for everybody. There are people that love for love, not just because of something beautiful. Like, that's not based off of love. That's not based off of that. And there are some people that may look like conventionally beautiful or attractive people that do have genuine good hearts and feel like the only reason why people want to talk to them or be with them is because they're only looking at their physical, and they feel like sometimes is that all I'm worth. So we might covet and be like, oh, I wish I looked like this, or I was shaped like this and I have this. And people that have like genuine true hearts, like as a human being, you don't want to just be valued for something external, what you have, what you look like the person in their right mind, at least. That's not what you want to be looked at for, you know. So either way it goes, you guys, true love does exist in spite of all these immature people in the world that think that life value is based off of how much money you make, your social status, your physical attributes. That's the only thing that makes you valuable. If you unplug from the lies and the deception and just that is just demonic rhetoric to make you hate yourself. Anything that makes people feel lesser than, tears them down, makes you want to mutilate yourself, your body, um, sell yourself so you can have money, that's demonic. I'm sorry. Sorry. Whether you intend it to be that or you want to like you feel like you don't want to feed into that energy or that world, it is what it is. That's what it is. Like anything is if it's not divine, if it's not true, if it's not coming from a place of love, it's demonic, it's dark, it's evil. That's how I see it. Anything that makes you want to mutilate yourself is not sound. I'm sorry. Even if, oh, I'm doing it for me, I want big titties. Like that's where free will comes in. But I have to be honest, I have to be real. Like, whether you want to get a BBL, you want to do something different to your nose, get lip injections, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, if you truly loved yourself in the way that you saw fit, you wouldn't. If that shit didn't exist, let's put it this way. If you didn't have access to surgery like that, or that type of surgery never existed, it was never a creation on this planet, you would have no choice but to love yourself. You would have no choice but to do that. That's just my take. Anything that causes you to like put your health at risk and your life at risk, to me, is not natural. I, it's just not. I'm sorry. And it's not to say like the person itself is evil or they're a bad person. It's just that energy. Yeah, yeah. It's not a I don't know, like, I've always, like, fought against that because, of course, like, everybody in them probably has fantasized about, "Look, if I was to get surgery and do this and tuck this and do that, enhance this. Like we all have that fantasy and that vision, and some things you can do just naturally do to your, like you can build these things up naturally. But if we were all to just be okay with being our authentic selves, I feel there would be no need to compromise ourselves. There would be no need to do that at all. And the funny thing is, like, everybody aspires to have a certain look, but they end up looking like everybody else instead of looking like their authentic self. Like, there's too many people that look alike. Like, sometimes I'd be confused. Like, I'm not trying to be messy, but I have to be honest, like, in an honest assessment of what I see. There was this video I saw of Cardi B or something. It was like an interview, a radio interview of her. She looked like a few other women I've seen, like other celebrity women. I'm just like, why do they all look alike? It's like the lips look the same and the cheekbones look the same, the teeth look the same. It's just like I just don't get it. I just don't get it, you know. And there's some people that I wish wouldn't have never touched their face. 'Cause I thought they were beautiful without it. But I mean, that's their free will. But my thing is this: is like it's just not natural to me. It's just not, you know. Aside of like eyelashes, you could take that shit off. Wigs, weaves, extensions, whatever, you could take that shit off. A push-up bra, you could take that shit off. But all this other shit is just like contacts, and you know that you can pop those off. Whatever enhancements people wear, that is health risks and all of that shit. I just, I'm not into it. But I come from a different generation. My generation was just, if anything was enhanced, it was breast implants. I was the most. And even then, sometimes I'm just like, them motherfuckers look weird. Like, just some people's look really good, but like some just, I don't know. I don't know, child. God created us the way that they did for a reason, you know? Have fun with our appearance, but when it comes to like cutting and snipping and getting all up into your organs and shit, like to me, that is, I don't know. But I'm an old lady in spirit, so I don't really resonate all the time with my generation and the new generation. I'm like one of those ones that they would call boring, and in some instances, like I don't agree with a lot of shit that people are on, but we live in a time that it's a lot of darkness though. So hey, darkness is good and good is considered evil, whack, boring, outdated. But you know, it's a whole nother topic. You know, and a whole nother topic. But I'm gonna cut it off right there, y'all. Just love yourself, okay? Nobody else tells you like you are loved, you are lovable. Even if I don't know you, it doesn't necessarily have to be that I love you, you know, but you are loved by people that love you, by source God, by your divine team. You're loved. It's not like you're just not. And it's a much more safer place to be with yourself when you love yourself. When you don't love yourself, it's always a war that's unnecessary. So I'm sending much love. Not men are getting, I heard about the penis enhancements. I didn't know about the taller. I don't know. That's crazy. That's interesting. Like, how they even do that? Are they putting their kneecaps like separate, like making their kneecaps separate? What are they? I don't know. That's some crazy shit. Even the dick enhancements, like, I don't know. I feel like women, like, we can complain about not having big enough breasts or too much breasts or not enough butt or too much butt. But I feel kind of bad for men that, they got, you know what, like little situations. I don't want to say it, but they have little situations. And it's kind of like, that's kind of unfair. So I wouldn't really be too mad at the penis enhancements. I mean, I get it, I understand. But yeah. Getting taller though, that's scary. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all for coming on. Like this video if it resonates. Send it with someone you feel like may need it, okay? Suicide is not the answer. I know how lonely the mind of a suicidal mind is. I understand, trust me. But I had this whole revelation, like, there's nothing more darker than that, and I feel like that's not a natural state of mind. It's a state of mind that is, Imma just say it as it came to me. It's a demonically altered state of mind. It's not a natural state. Like, so I send anybody love and peace. Like that mind, like I send you much love. Yeah, happy hour will be later. You're welcome, sis. Yeah, happy hour will be later on tonight. What time is it? Um, I'll open the list up shortly. Just give me a few minutes, y'all. But thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and you know, y'all open to share your thoughts. I know that not everything that I say is going to be agreeable with everyone. That's fine. I can only just express and just be me. Like, it doesn't have to resonate with everybody. It's cool. All right. Much love, everybody. Y'all be blessed. Take care. Until next reading. Peace.